Welcome to Curse of Strahd, a DM's guide. Ooh, this is the spookiest campaign because it's Curse of Strahd and it is based in the setting of Barovia. It's ruled by the evil overlord Strahd von Zarovich. And this series isn't me just reading from the book word for word. This series already assumes that you've done that because I don't want to have to educate you about what the frick Vallaki is and what's going on in there. So I'm just gonna assume that you already know. This is less of me being like, ooh, okay, so this is the place and these things are happening. Okay, thanks for watching. This is a place, these things are happening that you should know about, and this is what else can happen and how you can improve upon it and how you can adapt it to your own players, how you can expand on it and go way beyond what's just written in the book, which is an amazing book, I'll tell you. It's one of my favorite campaigns, if not literally my favorite. I have countless hours poured into reading it. I'm running currently a Curse of Strahd campaign that has been going on for approximately 15 sessions. They're level 5 now, and they all love it, and I'm very happy. So, for running this adventure, you're gonna need quite a few things, because this is D&D, and if you want to be very professional, then you're gonna need this to start off with. The Player's Handbook. It has most of the stuff that you're gonna need, including rules. Yeah, mainly rules is what you'll need it for, spells and stuff like that. But if you're running it on something like D&D Beyond and you have the resources, or Roll20 and you have the resources, then it should do everything for you. This one also requires the Dungeon Master's Guide because there's quite a few traps in it. There is a few tables that you might have to call upon should your players suddenly decide to start a business in Barovia, or perhaps try and build something else. They could run Old Bone Grinder as a business. You'll also need the Monster Manual because most of the monster descriptions are not in the back of Curse of Strahd. They're in here because they expect you to have read this. It's a very, very important thing to have because you can just turn to any page and it's like, oh look, here's Kuatoa. They're not in Curse of Strahd, but you know, it has everything you will need. Then it's this, my favorite campaign. Look at how frickin' evil he looks. This will have everything that you could possibly need. There are a few other things. For instance, the book comes with this nifty map. It has on one side the map of Barovia itself, which is quite a large map, small in scale, large in what's going on. It will also have, so for instance, here's Kretsk. It will have little graphs of all the villages and stuff. Here's Barovia as well. And then on the other side, you'll find the massive, awfully mega dungeon, Castle Ravenloft, which is the biggest, coolest dungeon, but also the most hard to run for a DM. It has it at a 45-degree angle view, and it's a neat way to look at it, but I could sort of possibly recommend that you run it from perhaps the Roll20 map that's provided. It's much easier. There's also one other thing that I have that you don't need. You can make it work with something else. This is called a Tarokka deck. It's a deck of cards that you can get with Curse of Strahd, and basically these are a set of 54 cards that kind of function like tarot cards, similar to a normal card deck. I believe there's a way of making this work with playing cards. It's, embrace yourselves. These cards, depending on how you deal them to your players, can change the locations of various magic items in the game, can determine who the final ally is for the party, and who will greatly assist them in their final plight, and where the final boss battle against Strahd von Zarovich takes place, which is the coolest mechanic I've ever seen. It's done in-game by a fortune teller called Madame Eva. You can also alter the dealing so that you get the cards that you want, which is a way of doing it. And I've done that before because I've had things that I wanted in certain places, because sometimes if you draw from them, I drew from them randomly once, and it ended up with most of the magic items being in pretty easy starting areas. That definitely required some level of investigation, but they could get them if they looked, and the cards give you hints, but they're very fucking cool. So I'm not going to be talking about anything too specific in this video because this is just an introduction, but one or two fun disclaimers. I am just a man on the internet who says the funny thing occasionally and tells you my experiences with things and gives you tips. This is how it's supposed to be run. This is how I would do it. So don't take my word as gospel. Your group may need something entirely different, but I'm sort of giving you suggestions. And you can alter things however you like. This is your game. Curse of Strahd is your playground. This module is very much a playground due to the map, because the way that the objectives are lined up, there's no line up to it. It is an extremely non-railroaded game, apart from maybe the start. Once you hit level 3 or 4, you are out in the wide world, and you are given a few hooks to go to a few places from this wonderful card reading here. And then also, players can uncover various things going on in Barovia and interact with them. There's like 5 things going on in Gollaglee that they can investigate at least. There's like 10 actually. There's a bunch of stuff going on in Kretsk and Barovia, the village. There's a shitload of stuff in Castle Ravenloft. There's Argynvestholt, there's the Wizard of Wines winery, there's Yester Hill, and every single one of them have moving parts. Babalai Saga in Berez sends over scarecrows to the Wizard of Wines after Yester Hill druids have taken it over and done what they needed to do. It's so fucking cool! But again, your game, you run it how you want. You could make Esmeralda d'Avenir an enemy who is trying to kill the party like a normal Vistani. You could make the Abbot a genuinely good guy who was plotting to kill Strahd von Zarovich. And you could perhaps even make Strahd von Zarovich a female, which I'm totally doing the next time I run it, just because it keeps it interesting. I've run it quite a few times at this point, and I'm starting to alter a few things so that it's a lot more fun for me. So thank you for watching this little introduction to the best module, and if you say otherwise, I will come to your house and I will beat you up. Unless you say Wardy Dragon Heist is your favourite, then we can have a polite debate. So make sure you like, subscribe, and go and tell your friends that you love them. Just give them a little smooch on the cheek. Tell them about your feelings. Hug them, embrace them, love them. Look at my girlfriend, so unprofessional. It's almost as if I have to literally do nothing and she does everything. Look at this freaking setup!